welcome. My name's Brandee, Sage of the Fae Folk. I'm a tarot reader, artist, and writer, and today I've got a reading for you. I'm gonna get 4 cards out from the Fairies Oracle I've got here, and so each one will symbolize a different group. And then at the very end of each group reading, we'll look at what each of these fairies mean, and we'll read from the book for that.
It would be so nice if something would make sense for a change.
What's your name? Brandee. With 2 E's.
I had a world of my own. Everything would be nonsense.
Okay, so for the first group, we've got number 20, the Dark Lady. So cool. I don't even think I've pulled this card. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna see like what's the message the Dark Lady has for you. We're gonna skip through a couple different decks probably. And yeah. Then we'll, like I said, at the very end we'll go through the meaning of that fairy, the Dark Lady, from their guidebook. But for now, let's just see what has she got to say. And I might edit these down, but if you prefer to see shorter readings, I post readings on my TikTok and my Instagram. Okay. Six, 9. Okay, with the 6 of Wands and the 6 of Swords, it seems like you've been doing a really good job of protecting your peace, protecting the space around you. Maybe even like literally taking space from people. And it seems like this is kind of a place you've had to wait in. It seems like, yeah, it's almost like by staying away from people, you make sure that you don't have to prove anything to them. And so you're like just kind of keeping yourself in a holding position until you can figure out how to create that version of success that you actually want to embody. This has been really slow because you've had some really mean thoughts going on in your head. You've maybe experienced some trauma or some or maybe you have like a mental illness or something that like mentally gets in your way. You see how like none of those swords can slice through, they're all blocking each other. Swords in tarot represent thoughts, and so that's kind of what's going on. Is you've got competing thoughts, competing things that just gum up the works. This Knight of Rings, it's Pentacles in regular tarot. This is a Lord of the Rings deck. This is the slowest moving knight, and in my opinion can be a very obnoxious personality to work with, and it seems like an energy you've had to embody to get through this, where it's just like very slow and steady wins the race. Even though a lot of your energy has wanted to like pick up and move faster, you've been kind of just, I'll get there, even though it doesn't feel that way all the time. So this is a lot of like, they're kind of creating a landscape for me of what's been going on. Yeah, Ace of Swords. And so this seems like something lately that you've kind of sorted out. Like maybe before it was all gummed up, and now you've been able to take a little bit of space, get a little bit of that feeling of being in control of things again, that's allowed you to see that you've been stalled, where before it felt like you were moving fast, doing everything you could. And yeah. And so you're ready to come out and say like, Here's what I need differently. Ooh, here's what I need differently. Let's get more on that. Dark Lady. This is the Hanged Man again. These are Magic the Gathering cards that I just sorted through. But it's the Hanged Man again. Wow. And then it's like Hold at Bay, even is the card name. And like I said, that really feels like what you've been doing is kind of just like holding off the attack. And so, yeah, you've been in place, but you've been like doing a lot. You've been taking care of a lot. So you might have been or have felt the need to ramp up like purification things like saging or incense. Even candles can help with that. Opening the windows is a big one. And going outside. Seems like a lot of those things might have been on your mind lately, and you should absolutely follow through on those things. Clear. Okay. What else? What was the, yeah, different? Not that many. That one though. Okay, that's the Ace of Cups. So we got the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. So yeah, it seems like you've got a lot of beginnings that are out here for you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, if you've been in place for a long time, ooh, Temperance now too. That's another like, I'm just gonna take my time. I'm gonna be really careful. uh, and then Two of Pentacles and Two of Wands. Okay, I want these two. So it seems like your feelings have been something that's been very hard to balance. Like I said, your mental landscape has had some problems, has needed some help, honestly. And so taking care of the things that have been going on in your head has been a big task. Like it's a lot of, when you've got something legitimately in your way. Oh, sorry, the words just drifted right out of my head. They don't want me to dwell on that. Never mind. Uh, like I said, your emotions have felt very hard to balance, but it's something you've been doing really well. Like I said, you're fending off the attack, you're fending off whatever trouble there would be, or maybe even used to be, and now you're getting to come into that more balanced view of things. And that's going to open up portals for you. Yeah, so yeah, this message, this Dark Lady is coming in to tell you that the things that you want to do are worth your time. Um, the emotions that you're dealing with, the things you're feeling and experiencing, that's everything. And so yeah, you can get caught in a like comparison cycle of what other people have versus what you have. But it really seems like the only thing that has felt like a need, like the thing that you actually want, is to be seen, loved, and heard. And you've created a space where those things get to be true right now. And yeah, I think you're nearly out of this waiting period. Yeah. Oh. Okay. A little more. Okay, yeah. You put out Okay. It, like I said, there's been a lot of themes of like you moving slower, you needing to take your time, and there in a lot of what I was saying, there seems to be an implication that there is something specific you have in mind, a direction you're actually wanting to go down, um, which probably hasn't always been the case. But now that you're getting to like experience your emotions more fully, you can embody those like I want, I desire kind of things and let yourself move towards them. And so, where in the past it came in like, okay, these are the ships I want to call in, these are the kinds of experiences I want to have, and then you've just been like slowly moving your way over there, you're about to see those things start to come in. You're about to see the movement. You're about to move on from the hanged man position. That's why I think we had to double down on it, is because it's like, yeah, you're stalled, you're in place, but this wasn't to punish you. It was to let you breathe. It was to give you a minute to come back into your power, to come back into that like meditative I am space that actually lets you experience being without having to be something. This is trippy. I liked it. Okay, so let's look at what the Dark Lady has to say in this one. Not super familiar with this deck yet, so it's okay. We'll get there. Okay. I'm going to. No, I'm not, because it was a lot of work last time. I'm not going to post the words. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. We may reach the realm of the Dark Lady through grief, through deep surrender, through ecstasy, or through profound ritual. This card in a reading suggests that it's time to withdraw from the ordinary world, to revitalize ourselves through retreat and surrender to the source, unity, and the song of ecstasis. Don't know that word, sorry. This is a time of preparation for rebirth, which is the next card after the Hanged Man. This is a time of preparation for rebirth, of restoration and regeneration. Ooh. What is hidden is getting ready to be revealed. Celebrate this passage with the unknown, rich, fertile, hidden realms of the Dark Lady. This is the time in the natural cycle of life when we can open ourselves to receive the inflowing energies of Himself. When we become powerful, overflowing with life force. It may be a time of prophecy, magic, and foretelling of the potentials of the future. A time of self-awareness, self-knowledge, and encounters with hidden worlds. Meditate, retreat, seek serenity and inner peace. Well, that just kind of went perfectly. You're welcome. I hope it helped. Okay, so now we've got a collection of pixies, number 48. Oh, last one went so well, so I'm super excited. Oh my god. That was the main card of group number 1. So some of you maybe were called to group 1 and group 2, and that would be confirmation that that was the right call. But it's also different too, so. And if you prefer these shorter, or I'm not sure if I'll edit this specific one down, but I do post shorter readings on my TikTok and my Instagram. Welcome to do that over there. Okay, we've got 2 aces reversed. So yeah, like I said, this is a little different from group 1 because group 1, the aces were all upright, and it seemed like the new start was already happening. We've got a 10 and these aces reversed, so it does seem like you're about to end a cycle and not quite fully ended it. And especially this cycle of being overburdened. Ooh. Overburdened by your emotions. And anxiety. Okay, yeah, you've been feeling really destabilized right now, and it seems like you've been waiting for like a break, waiting for like a chance, waiting for someone to come in and like aid the situation. These fairies are coming, this collection of pixies is coming in to say they won't give you a chance. They won't let you have it until you set some stuff down, until you actually release this. Because what hands are you gonna pick up this cup with? And it seems like you're gonna be just sitting here. It's a nice spot. It's a good tree to be by, but it doesn't seem like all you want. It doesn't seem like everything you want is here. But you are also feeling anxious that ooh, that's where we need the clarifier. Yeah, what's the anxiety about really? Because I think there's something in these pixies, just looking at them, that it kind of seems like, yeah, letting it go is part of what they're asking you to do. Ooh. Let go of the anxiety. They're giving a howl currently. Mm. Cool. I have no idea if these have been in frame. I'm sorry. Okay, so another 10 here, which is just telling me again that you're closing out cycles, that you're wanting to move forward. It doesn't really feel like you can, right? Like there's a lot of just like being trapped, like being caught up in this like thought prison, is what I've been calling it today. And that like thought prison really keeps you from feeling your emotions. It really does feel like there's a separation between like your thoughts and emotions right now, and it's not very helpful because a lot of the questions that are coming up are like, what do you want, what's your preference, and if you can't feel your emotions, it's really hard to know any kind of preference. It's hard to know anything about yourself, um, because everything you're doing in your head is second guessing yourself, and so there's no stable image of who you are. And so the only way to find that is to really, ooh, we've got sirens like crazy. I don't know if you're hearing that, from the microphone. Yeah, which I think is part of it, right? Is the thoughts. That's exactly how they get caught up, right? Like we're second guessing ourselves. And so if I can't trust my thoughts, can I even trust myself? And so it's really easy to jump into that spiral and just let it get out of control. And so they're saying, you've been down this road quite a bit now, and it's time to see that like this spinning cycle isn't helping you. Like the thing it likes to tell you, that you like to tell yourself in that like anxious voice, is that you have to stay in the thoughts to figure it out. If you don't figure it out, you won't know what you're doing. Like if you don't sit here and think about all the possibilities, you won't be prepared when something goes wrong. Well, guess what happens most of the time is the thing that goes wrong is the thing you weren't prepared for. The thing that goes wrong is the one thing you couldn't have planned for. I think they're kind of saying like hey, again, you've been down this road a lot. You've been here before. Um and it's time to break the cycle. And part of breaking the cycle is going to be collaborating with people rather than competing with people. This specific Five of Wands I really like, because there's a lot of like pettiness that can happen in the Five of Wands. Sometimes it's about competition, so sometimes competition can be really sharp and spiky. um, this specific illustration shows a protest, and I think it shows that more positive side to the Five of Wands is the like the fight has to come out somewhere. There's like there's always good things in the world to take part of, but there's always some trash. And if we don't process it, it just has to stay with us. And so they're saying rather than doing the distraction game, which is what the anxiety actually is, and I think you've actually started to recognize that more recently, is that like this anxiety trip comes up when you're feeling anxious about the paper you're writing. It seems like you have more problems to solve when you have work to do, because that connection is from, like I said, that anxious place. And so if you can take care of your anxiety, take care of that, like, I have to be against people, I have to be fighting for me and my feelings all the time, and come into just knowing that your feelings are valid and that I'm going to take my feelings and tackle the problem with it. I'm angry about like reproductive rights and I can't do anything about it. And it's like, well, I could probably donate $5 somewhere. Um, just coming into that, like, rather than getting nihilistic about it and just like, well, there's nothing I can do, so nothing matters and I shouldn't try. Coming into like, maybe you can't do everything to fix the problem, but you can do one thing. Maybe you can't solve every problem that your brain's bringing up to you, but you can get your work done. But you can write your paper so you get a good grade, so that you don't have to worry about what happens if you don't get the good grade. Basically, they're saying it's a distraction. And you don't have to go down it. And I know that takes some effort. For certain people, that takes like medication. For other people, that takes like affirmations and some like work to rewire your brain past the anxious response. And sometimes the anxiety is just going to win, right? Like, that happens. And so giving yourself grace that it's like, oh man, I was anxious. I don't have to do that next time. There's that next time about it. It's not final. You didn't fail. You always get to try again. And so there's a lot in here about like not worrying about the plan so much right now. And instead coming into like a, these are the things I want to do and the people I want to be around kind of energy. And everything else can just go. Well, all right. That's where they want me to stop it. So let's see what the collection of pixies says in here. 48, I said. Okay. What is needed here is not only awareness of duty, but a merry approach to it. This job has to be done, so one might as well do it willingly. Process through this dance may progress sorry. Progress through this dance maze step by step, lively and lightly. Take joy and pride in achievement. Approach the work with zeal, zest, and zing, and perhaps even a little zaniness as well. Otherwise, you might as well not bother. Well, almost. There is something about this lighthearted approach to your duty that is important at this time in order to achieve the results you want. Additionally, consider the words collective and cooperative as you make your plans. This situation may take more than one person, perhaps several working together to achieve the desired results. Joining forces with others is appropriate at this time. Seek the cooperation of friends, families, coworkers, and fairies as appropriate. I hope they just keep tying these so neatly. Yeah, wow. Okay. Thank you And thank you. I hope this helps. Okay, on my group threes, I've got number 7, the Singer of Intuition. Ooh. Speaking of intuition, the High Priestess is out. This is really beautiful. I love how orange these cards are. Orange and yellow. Very like autumnal. Okay, and those got mixed up. So yeah, like I said, the Singer of Intuition, that's already really fitting well with the High Priestess card. I think I've read that card. I'm new to this Oracle deck. I'm still learning it. But the High Priestess, she's all about intuition. And paired with this Queen of Wands, what that's telling me is you're really embodying a very productive energy. It seems like you're able to see through your own bullshit in a way that you haven't been able to like see through before. It seems like you've been really aware of what you've come with, but you're like, okay, what do I do with it? And so now it's coming back around to like a practical way. And it seems like it's been a lot easier to just be you and be the person that you want to be. With you might be dancing more lately and just like enjoying music, drums, that kind of thing. And that kind, oh, because it really seems like you're getting in tune with your own drum beat. That's what I think it is. And so all of these like songs are probably resonating with you because they get that same kind of like I said, it's very productive, very moves you forward, but consistent. And that's like what your energy is like right now, is like a drum beat. And so it's lighting a lot of people up. It feels like you're just getting everyone around you really excited. And you're doing that by staying in like the things that you're excited about. This 8 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck is telling me that you're getting into a really good like flow state with your work and taking the new opportunities that come with you. Like I really like this pentacle, and then she's creating a bunch of pentacles on the wall. And so it really looks like the specific work that you're putting in is bringing you opportunities. Cool. Yeah, and especially now that you're being more selective about who's in your energy. There's that 3 of Cups. This is a time for very sweet, nurturing relationships. People that you can dance with, people that you can like have a good time with, people that you can remain in your like good, fun energy. Yeah, if it does feel like it would be a shame to leave it, so don't. You don't have to. And if like you're feeling that need to pull yourself to something different, maybe that's a sign that like you don't belong in that place, or maybe like that's like when that happens on a day that you weren't doing the routine that was working for you or something. It seems like it's a lot of they said the wells run dry. So it seems like there's a lot of places where you've tried to go back for like I said, that nourishment, that more, and it's just come up with like nothing, like just more anxiety, more fear, more This is cool because this first line is really giving us like, oh, the Queen of Wands again, yay. It was giving us more of the, um, this is the party, this is what things have been like. And this is coming out as like the shadow aspect, the thing that your body's working through as you're dancing it out. Star keeps flashing but not popping out. So it seems like a little bit of you is in, yeah, a bit of a battle with like hope and justice and fairness and feeling like anybody's on your team. While at the same time, you're showing up like ready to communicate, sometimes ready to compete yourself, ready to get like I said, it seems more like because you're wanting to get into fun. And so sometimes that can turn into a little bit of a messy energy where you're just trying to get into like trouble because it's fun. That Queen of Wands coming back, really just saying that like you're still in that right energy. Okay, like I said, because this is the shadow aspect. And so part of you is working through like if competition is something that's like a healthy driver for you or not. And that could go either way. But it does seem like you're stalling yourself to figure that out because it seems like there's some sort of truth you're trying to dig to the bottom of. Yeah, maybe you feel like there's some spiritual uh like some bad energy coming your way from somewhere, and you're wanting to just like clear it out. And you're like, I don't want to get into too many things until that bad energy's away. But I think that's why this is the shadow aspect, because that's not the truth. It's by getting into these new spaces that you will clear that energy out, becoming more of this embodied light, this fire to follow. And then you see the light around this hand. That's your hand. It gets to be your truth. Yeah, so it does look like there's some fear stopping you, some fear keeping you kind of maybe less ambitious than you would hope to be. But it seems like your intuition's really keeping you safe, keeping you, like I said, in these nice, open, communicative places that pour back into you, and then retreating back to your own castle, like your own type of paradise. So you might be someone who's like doing a lot of dancing like alone. Uh, and just vibing with with yourself. That is very cool. So yeah, with all of that said, let's read your message. The Singer of Intuition. Okay. In a reading, the presence of the Singer of Intuition indicates that information is available to us if we just listen to our own inner knowing. Perhaps we have already heard it and still doubt our subtle senses. The singer says it's time to really listen to our intuition. What are our feelings, hunches, or intuitions about this situation? Is it desirable that we should seek solitude, meditate, and practice? It is desirable that we should seek solitude, meditate, and practice stillness and patience. This is a time for inward focus, a time to open the door to intuition. There are a lot of ins in this sentence because important answers are to be found within ourselves. The presence of the singer in a the presence of this singer, sorry, my words are getting all caught, in a card radiates special illumination and insight on the other cards around it. Yeah, that light, like I said. And so that really feels like this specific fairy. That's a lot of words that I feel like I couldn't get out, especially around like knowing. And so it really seems like as you're stepping into this light, you're stepping into knowing as well and figuring yourself out, figuring things out in general. And that light attracts a lot of things. It's a contagious energy to be in. Uh, so, yeah, protect your alone time. And then when you're ready, go have fun. And just try to keep it in that energy as much as you can right now. Because it's leading you to those bigger relationships, those bigger, more fulfilling projects that are you driven. This seems like the first step, or not the first step for sure, but the right way to go. Yeah, hope it helps. All right, hello, group number 4. I just noticed too you're number 13, and that's 4. That's a 4 number in numerology, like the 1 plus 3. So that's cool. Maybe 4s are a big number for you right now. And I'm using a playing card deck, which I don't usually start with. Use the more illustrated versions. So there's a lot of like weird things as we're settling into this one. So your fairy is soulless. And yeah, we're asking like what's the general message from the fairies today? Another 4. Ooh, okay. And 2 7s. I don't know. Cool number stuff, that's all. Okay, so bottom of the deck we have the 6 of Wands. Ooh, what was that one? Okay. Okay, cool. I was like, the 6 of Wands is all about victory. Sorry, this has been very messy. I hope you enjoy the messy vibes. If you're drawn to this group, it's likely. Yeah, so there's victory on the bottom of the deck, which was confusing me a little bit because some of these cards are kind of angsty. But this card's all about success and like victory. And then this card popped out, this 8 of Pentacles. So that really put things into place. So this 8 of Pentacles is about hard work, but especially hard work that you find fulfilling, that you find exciting, that's easy to get into like a flow state with. It's just you at your best, wherever that is. It doesn't even have to be literal work if it's just like productive things, like a hobby, like crocheting. Maybe you don't want to make it a whole business, you don't care to have it monetized, you just like crocheting. And you feel the most with yourself when you're in that creative space. And it doesn't even have to be like explicitly creative. It could also be like maybe you're in some sort of math or science field, and so studying and like you've made schoolwork your passion or something. Like it doesn't have to be specifically creative. It really just looks like you pouring your good, powerful, and creative energy into whatever work is fulfilling for you. That's what this card is about. The 7 of Pentacles before it talks about a plan, and it's kind of like the blueprint so that this 8 of Pentacles can live free in their creative genius world. And so what it's looking like right now is you're in that flow state, but you're still feeling like you don't have the plan underneath you. There's not a like direction that it's heading, and so it feels like it's not, well, the fear tells you that it's not worth your time. When in reality, the more mature thing to do for you right now is to like kind of do whatever we want. And I know that doesn't feel like maturity, that doesn't feel like what you were taught. But it does look like you're needing a redefinition. And I think this has probably already started with the foundations you've been laying for yourself. Yeah, because you don't have a plan, but you have a foundation. You maybe don't have the exact steps forward, but you do have a dream of what can happen. You have options of what could happen. And that's actually what you're being encouraged to do right now until you can find your voice and say, like, this is the specific direction I want to go. But for now, it actually seems like the more important thing is to keep your options open. Keep your options open, because that flow state, it seems like you're probably ping-ponging through a couple things. So maybe it is like schoolwork and crocheting and like your job, like could be a bunch of things that you're feeling just like powerful and on top of it. That's awesome. I can't decide what second deck to use. But fourth was the thing. So we're doing two small decks, two decks I made actually. So this one's a Magic the Gathering deck. They're just Magic the Gathering cards, and then I found ones that I reminded me of the tarot cards. So I'll just say the tarot names most of the time. Page of Swords. It's another four on the bottom of the deck. Okay, yeah, so it does look like, to you, it maybe looks like you're not doing enough. It maybe looks like you're not on top of things. You haven't figured things out. Like I said, that not having a plan and just kind of going with the flow isn't what you'd normally categorize as success. But I'll remind you, we had success and victory already out. And so I think maybe your definition of success is needing to change. And maybe it's needing to update for the kind of life that you want to live. And really only categorizing things as successes if they're your successes. Who cares if someone wants to be a lawyer? You don't want to be a lawyer. And like I was saying before, the more mature thing at this moment is actually to do the thing that you want to do, to pour your energy into like whatever that new idea is that's catching your attention. And you can almost like make a home in that new idea or even that new way of being, rather than living. Okay, they're kind of showing me like mentally you're living back in your childhood home. Mentally, it still feels like you're moving about the same issues. The light flickering for us. You're still like battling the things that you were battling when you didn't have any control. And so I think it's time to really update where your brain thinks it is. Because it seems like you've got a bully in your head telling you that you don't know what you're doing, that you can't know what you're doing because you're a little baby. But you're not a little baby. You keep coming out as kings. You keep coming out as the master, as the one in charge. And yeah, it doesn't feel like that because you haven't claimed the path yet. But I think it's for the next minute. I don't know how long the minute will be. Pay attention to how others perceive you now. Not how people used to perceive you, but really update. So look to the new people you're around, especially like people that didn't know you in the before, and see like, oh, I used to think this thing about me. Do these people still see that? Because what you'll notice is the opinion of you has shifted, and it's much more in line with the person that you wish you could be than the person that you have made yourself like beat yourself down in to fit into like this version of success. When and now you can open it up and look at your whole garden. Look at, ooh, yeah, see that centaur looking out over things. I think it's time to take that kind of perspective looking with your own progress and your own life, because you've gotten yourself through a lot of tricky things. And some of it was luck, some of it was like, okay, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. But you did it. And so this group has been like, fours have been such a big thing. Fours are a number of security too. They're a number of foundations. They're very, square number. And not to be confused with the square number. And so I think it's time to start investing yourself in the things that give you that sense of peace, give you that sense of security, give you that sense of like, I know what I'm doing. Because practically that's what you're doing. You're staying in this creative flow energy. You're getting a lot of stuff done. It just doesn't feel like it because you don't have that like ultimate end goal. Like I said, it's time to be a little nicer to yourself. Actually, a lot nicer to yourself. And tell yourself that you're doing everything you can do. You're doing everything you can do. You're allowed to follow your passions. You're allowed to care about the things that you care about. And if you don't care about it, you're allowed to say, I don't really care about that. If it's like someone you care about talking about something you don't care about, maybe you want to pay attention, but you don't have to completely invest yourself in projects, in like plans that aren't your own. Take care of your plan, take care of your foundation, and just like see what happens. See what happens when you give yourself the security you wish other people had been giving you all along. Okay, so let's grab your fairy message from this oracle book. I'll link these decks below. Obviously, we just did my handmade one, so those won't be down there, but this oracle one will be. So we've got knowledge, consciousness, synthesis, and spiritual empowerment. Solus is radiant, energizing, and vitalizing. This presence in a reading often indicates that something new is being brought into being in our lives, partly through our own efforts and partly through the help we are receiving from other realms. Miracles may take place. Movement into the light is occurring. This is a time for action, passing on our blessings and learning, and for service given from a position of strength. Yeah. And that's talking a lot about like support. And like I was saying, it's time to give yourself the accommodations, the support, the security that you wish other people had given you or would give you. If there's something like, oh, I just wish someone would take me out to the movies, if there's stuff like that you're like sitting on that's getting to you, that's like hurting you because no one's following through, it's time to start following through for yourself. You are welcome to take a friend to the movies, to go to the movies alone, to invite them to the movies instead of waiting for them to invite you. Like, you have a lot of options in your hands. And it seems like the big message from this one was to remember that there is like a little bit that you can do, and especially when you're staying in like your, like I said, creative genius kind of energy, that really productive I'm just doing what I want to do energy, you're attracting a lot of luck. Like I said, miracles are, like that said, miracles are happening, like lights coming in. And it's also a good time to use that light, to use that good energy to shore up your foundation, to make things as nice as you would want them to be. I feel like if I keep going, I'll repeat myself. So I hope this helps.
I had a world of my own. Every nonsense.